What's up, YouTube? Coach 5515 back again with another video. So this time I'm gonna tell you a story about but an experience that was told to me by one of our ex-coaches at Chinle High School, Coach J.R. Wagner. He recently passed away. Was a longtime coach at Chinle High School. Was a welding teacher at the same time. Then at this during his time off for several years, he was a tow truck driver for Speedy's towing service here in Chinle. So whenever the police officers needed a ride towed, or they needed assistance with moving vehicles from an accident and stuff like that, they would call out Speedy's, the towing service. So this happened all the way out in Whippoorwill. Whippoorwill area. Same place I told the story about when we saw the red glowing eyes in the police chase. This was probably a few years later after that. So there was an accident that happened out in that area, and JR said he got a call. This was late at night, probably about 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember him saying he took off from the yard, the towing yard from Speedy's, got to the accident scene. I guess it was a single vehicle rollover, or a vehicle that went off the road. So on his way over there, he said he got the location and everything from the police officer. Got to the area about 45 minutes later, because it was off the highway on one of the dirt roads, county roads out in that part of the reservation. I guess he said he got there. Vehicle was it was able to move, was able to start. Drunk driver was the guy that rolled the vehicle or got into the accident. Police officer was there the whole time he was on scene. So he said he loaded up the van. He said it was a van, a minivan, Dodge minivan. Loaded up the van, got done at the scene, and he was leaving. When he said he left, he made sure all the doors were secured. He said the windows were still intact. Just one of the side windows was messed up, busted. Front windshield was intact. Of course, it was damaged. So he said he was all driving down the road, got to the main highway, which is Route 4 that runs from Pinon Junction to Pinon. Goes through Cottonwood, Whippoorwill Junction, Blue Gap, all the way into Pinon. So on his way, he said he checked the vehicle at Whippoorwill Junction. Make sure it was still secured. Doors were still closed. Retightened all his straps and everything, his toe straps. So he said he was all outside checking all that. He said he heard some kind of noise behind him, like somebody was laughing or something. In the area right at that junction, he said there's houses. There are houses in that area, little ways from that junction. He said he thought he heard somebody laughing, and he thought it was coming from one of the houses. He heard dogs barking and everything. And, he kind of played it off. The police officer already took the drunk driver, and he was gone. So it was just him on the road, and remember him saying that he was driving down the road, a few miles down the road, in between Blue Gap Store and Cottonwood. It's kind of comes down, you go up pass Blue Gap store, go up on the hill, comes back down, and he said it comes back around a curve and then come downhill again and then into Cottonwood. So he said in between that area he saw the headlights turn on in that van, and he said he tried. There was no way to start that van; it was dead. So he said the headlights turned on, and then the light was on inside that van. So he looked back there, and he's freaking out. He turned on his floodlights in the back of his tow truck. It was a big flatbed tow truck, the one you can, park your car on top, and then it's several feet off the ground. So he said he pulled over. He was wondering what was going on. He went back there, make sure he checked all the connections. He said he was scared. He was scared, afraid to look inside the vehicle. But he had to do it because he didn't know how the headlights turned on. So he went in there, got his flashlight, flashed in there. Of course, the lights weren't really bright inside, but they were still on. He said there was nobody in there. But when he was doing that, he said on the other side of the highway, he heard like a coyote howling or some kind of howling over in the dark area. He said on the other side of the fence. So he said the lights. He flicked the switch, lights went off. Turned off all the lights in the van. So he crawled back down, got into his tow truck, took off again. He said about a mile down the road, the lights turned on back. The inside light of the van turned back on again. And he said that freaked him out. He said he was kind of freaked out about what he experienced at that time when he heard the coyote howling and just freaking out. Like the lights came on. He said he stopped again, went back there, he turned around, lights went off inside that van. And he said he freaked out. So he said I just turned on the floodlights in the back and I blazed back. He goes, I was scared. He goes, I was freaking out, man. If you guys know Coach JR, he used to speak that way. He used to be really, into his stories. And he goes, I just freaked out and I left. And he goes, I drove back with my lights on, kept looking back. That light kept coming on. He goes, I don't know what was back there. I didn't want to see what was back there. He goes, I just blazed back to the yard, unstrapped it, unrolled it off the flatbed, and I didn't want to look in there. So he said he was freaking out that whole time. So when he unrolled it, took it off the flatbed, he said on outside of where Speedy's yard is at, it's pretty dark on the outside, on the backside of that yard, and there's nothing but like open field way as far as you can see. He said that when he was there, he heard like that wolf, or not wolf, but that like a coyote howling again. He said that he was freaking out. So he said after that, he said he had trouble sleeping. He got home, left the yard, locked it up. He said he didn't even look in the vehicle. He said he just straight up, just went home and tried to go to sleep. Couldn't go to sleep for a while because he was freaked out so bad. Yeah. So that was one of the stories that JR told. He would always bring that story up, like the stuff we used to see, because he was a busy guy. Worked for Speedy's during the summertime because he was one of the teachers. He had to supplement his income somehow. So we used to see each other when we used to go on like these accident calls or DUI calls, and he used to say, hey, how's it going, son? You okay? Make sure you stay safe. And I used to tell him the same thing too, because he used to carry a radio and we used to hear each other on the radio. Then we used to make sure we text each other, make sure everybody was okay, or make sure everything was all right with each other. But that time he pretty much freaked out, and he was a bishop at the Mormon church here in Chinle. So you know, you got the bishop freaked out, then you know something's going on. So that's JR's story. I remember him telling me, rest in peace to JR. We miss him. It was tough not having him on the sidelines this year, you know, and seeing him coach his girls basketball team. So, you know, that's one of the stories that I was thinking about. So, thank you for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. So, there's one of the stories that I had, and you know, I got a few more to tell. So, thank you for watching.